Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cross-stitching video. This is going to be a month-long video, so it is currently July 2nd and I'm going to be working on one project in this video, and it's a project that I want to get finished. So my plan is this summer that I'm going to be doing daily stitching on one piece. That piece is Merry Mushroom Village Picnic number 3, which is the HAID 2024 stitch along. HAID stands for Heaven and Earth Designs. And so I have already had one video where it was a shorter video because I started it in the middle of June. So I have a previous update video and I give more details about like the app I'm using to keep track of my stitching and everything. So my plan is if I do 260 stitches on this piece a day, this piece will be finished at the end of the summer. So that is my goal. And what I will be doing is I don't know if you can hear my kids are laughing about something. I don't know. Anyways, so I will be doing weekly updates where I show you how many colors I finished and talk about like what percent I'm at and all that stuff. So just weekly updates, and then I'll put them all into one video that's released at the end of the month. So here's my starting point on Merry Mushroom Village Picnic number 3. It is, like I mentioned, July 2nd, and right now, as of July 2nd, I have 29 colors finished. There are 61 colors left. There are 14,909 stitches left, and I am at 75%. So I am going to get to stitching on this piece, and I will be back in a week with an update to see, like, we'll talk about if I'm keeping up with my stitching. I might have weeks where I don't get as much stitching time because, like, even this week there is the 4th of July, so I don't know how much stitching I will be doing on the 4th of July. And, there's just going to be times where I might not be able to stitch, and just showing you my progress on what I get done on just this piece, which I am looking forward to having it finished. It is now Thursday, July 9th, and I am back with my first update for July, and I wrote down all my numbers, so if you see me looking down, I will be reading from my notebook, but I have been on track so far this week. I have done all of my stitching every day that I was supposed to do, and so here is my progress. So I currently have 13,003 stitches left. I am at 78% complete. Over the last week, I did 1,900 stitches, and my colors that I have finished is I have 34 colors complete, and there are 56 colors left. So it is getting so much closer to being finished, and I cannot wait. I am so excited. So I did some of like the fairy's legs, so the fairy is getting like a little bit more complete in this area. I also did more mushroom up in the yellow, and I've started trying to do some of this area here and kind of spreading out to this corner that is still empty, but I am so happy. It's coming together and I love to see it. So I cannot wait to have this done at the end of the summer, especially because in July I'm going to be having new starts. I'm going to have a new start on my birthday. I also have a few other things I think that I'll be starting, so I need to have some finishes. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll be back next week with another update. And then also I was thinking that at the end of the summer I might pick another piece to work on during the fall. So I'm most likely going to start like thinking of which piece I want to be my fall daily stitching piece, and I think I might just continue doing this like in all the different seasons, just having a piece and doing daily stitching. So I'll be back with hopefully another good update next week. I am back, and I have another update on Merry Mushroom Village Picnic number 3. This is my second update for July, I think, and on this update, I am behind. So I think in a week I'm supposed to do about 1,800 stitches, and in this last week I did 1,100 stitches. So I am behind a couple days because yesterday I did not stitch at all, and then there was 2 days where I did not stitch on this project because I was doing new starts. So for my birthday week, I have had multiple new starts, and on the days that I've started things, I just did not want to work on my daily stitching for this piece, and so I took a couple days off. So I will just do extra stitching in the coming weeks to hopefully make up for it. And yeah, so I didn't finish any colors. There's a little bit of progress. So the one thing that I will say is I am trying to start working in this area, in this bottom corner. So I have been like picking colors that have a little bit of stitches in this area and then trying to do them. And it just is hard because of the fact that you can kind of see there will be like gaps. So there will be like areas where it's like the dark color here, and then there will be a gap of that color, and then it's like over here. So it's just kind of hard to do these scattered stitches the way that they are. So that is what I've gotten done. Not a ton, but like I said, hopefully next week I will have made more progress and I will have finished some colors. So we will see what I have for my next week's update. It is now the end of, I think, week 3 of July, and I have fallen farther behind this week just because things were busy. I went to a Mariners game, it was really hot, so I didn't stitch one day, and then there was a different day where I was just reading, and so I have fallen behind, but I will tell you what my stats are right now. I have everything written down in this little notebook. So over the last week, I did 1,400 stitches. I have 10,000 stitches left, which is nice because last week I was at, I think, 11,400, and I am at 84%. I did not finish any colors, and so I have 56 colors left. So I am loving it. You can see things are starting to come together, and I've also started venturing into this area where there were no stitches because it needed to get filled in. I was like, I'm gonna like have just this bottom corner left and hate myself because I did not like stitching this side, and so I already knew I would not like stitching this other side over here. So yeah, I was like, I need to start filling it in. Anyways, I mentioned I'm behind, so instead of doing 260 stitches a day, I think I need to do almost 300 stitches a day to get this finished by the end of August, and so I am going to try and ramp up my stitching on this piece in this last week of July. I'm also hoping that August won't be as busy as July, just because July ended up having a lot of things. So you have the 4th of July, which was on a weekend, and then the next weekend I went and was visiting with my family, and then the weekend after that was my birthday, and then I went to a Mariners game during the week, 1 week, and then there's a baby shower coming up tomorrow. It's currently Friday. And so yeah, it's just been a busy month. There's been a lot of like events outside the house, and then just the heat makes me not want to stitch as much. And so yeah, August so far is less busy, but I know that that is most likely going to change because my kids will be going back to school at the end of August, which means that there will be back to school shopping that needs to be done. Also just like school events will start up. Before school starts here, there is a like back to school day where you go to the school, and then like my kids are in middle school, so they will get like their locker combinations and take school pictures and stuff before the school year starts. So there's going to be events coming up, but I don't have the dates for those yet, so I can't really plan them into my like stitching schedule or anything like that because I don't know when they're gonna happen. But I'm still hoping I can get this finished by the end of August though, especially because once I get closer to the end, like I'm at 10,000 stitches left right now, and even that has me like, if I just stitched on this exclusively for like a week, I could potentially get it done, because when I get close to finishing things, I become like obsessed, and I will just put every hobby aside and only do that. And so I know that once it gets closer that I will be more motivated to work on it more. So I think I can still get it done, but it'll be interesting to see, just because like I said, just life happens, things pop up. So here is where I am right now. It is currently July like 23rd or 24th. I'm not sure what day. Hold on. It is the 24th. And so we still have, you know, a little bit of time left in July, and we will see what I can get done. I am back with my final update for July. It is currently July 31st, which means I have done my stitching on Merry Mushroom Village Picnic for today, and so that means that my numbers for July are final. They are done, and so I'm going to give you my final update for July. So here is where I am so far on this bottom area that I have been working on. I did 2,800 stitches since you last saw it. It is currently at 88% complete, and I have 7,175 stitches left to do in August. Over the last week, I finished 6 more colors, which means I have 50 colors left. So here is the entire piece. I took it off of my frame because I need to move it, because the way I had it in the frame, I couldn't really get to this bottom corner here, which isn't finished, and so I needed to move it so that I can do the full bottom section. So I need to look and see if I have a different size frame that will fit everything a little bit better. It's also hard though because I don't have a lot of border on the outside, just because when I was doing this stitch along, I found a piece of fabric that was just like a scrap fabric, and I was like, this will fit, I just won't have a ton of border. I could technically sew fabric onto the sides and then give myself more fabric for putting it into a hoop. I just don't really feel like pulling out my sewing machine for that purpose. But yeah, I'm excited because it is getting closer to being finished, and then I get to work on something else. So I have, what did I say, 7,175 stitches left for August. And then once I hopefully get this finished in August, if I have time, I will pick a different project and work on a different project in August. And I think what I'm going to do is just keep having a daily stitching piece because I am enjoying it, and it's a good, easy way to kind of focus on a piece and get some stitches in. I'm kind of thinking though, because I don't have a lot of pieces that are close to being finished, that I might just like pick a piece and then work on it for a month. So have like, you know, a September project that could be like a bigger piece, like Cozy Winter Book Nook. Work on Cozy Winter Book Nook every day for that month, and then that way it would get like a nice chunk of stitching in on that project, and then just rotate monthly until I have something that can actually, you know, be worked on until it's finished, because I don't really have very many full coverage pieces that are close to being finished right now. I think the closest one I might have is the Haid 2025 stitch along, but I think I still have like 30,000 stitches left, and or like it's either 30 or 40. And so it would take like quite a few months to get that done, just doing 200 stitches a day. So I don't think I'm ready for that one to be a daily stitching piece yet. It would need to get a little bit closer to the finish before it is, you know, actually ready to be worked on until it's finished. But I don't know. I'll think about that more and talk about that more in my August video, because that is when I will actually need to like pick out another piece to work on once this is finished. So here's my progress though. I am very happy with it, and I will see you all in August with hopefully a finish on this piece. Thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Bye!